Welcome to the final episode of Durarara. We made it. We're finally here. It's been over 5 months, I believe, since we started the series. I could be completely wrong on that one, but if I remember correctly, we started... Was it beginning of April? That feels about right. So if it was beginning of April, then it was about 5 months since we first started the series on the channel, and we are finally here for the final episode of Durarara. Now, before I actually go into what happened in the previous episode and stuff like that, there has been a poll on the channel for what's going to be replacing this series after we finish it, and this is the series that won. The reason I'm not saying it out loud is because I'm actually recording this before the poll actually finished, so I have no idea which one's gonna win. But yeah, this is the series that we're gonna be starting tomorrow. So yeah, this one on the poll, and it's gonna be replacing Durarara. But either way, we are now going into the final episode. I'm gonna speak like all of my thoughts of the series at the end, all of my thoughts on every single one of the characters at the end as well. And yeah, I'm gonna say my piece after we finish this episode. But in the previous episode, we ended it on the biggest cliffhanger so far in the entire series, and that's a big statement because we had some big ones. And it was a frustrating one, very frustrating one, because we finally saw Mikado reach the breaking point. Right? He finally reached the breaking point. He has been lonely, very, very lonely, and he has been trying to escape that with in any way, shape, or form. He's been trying to replace the loneliness with some kind of power, right? Or at least illusion of power, but it ended up not being enough, and him meeting up with Kida kind of proved that, well, for him, he doesn't see a way out of it, so he pointed a weapon at himself at the end of the episode. So it was I'm trying to dance around the YouTube guidelines here. I'm trying to be a PG when talking about it. So yeah, it was a rough way to end the episode. Now, I am 100% certain that this is gonna have a positive, I'm not gonna say good, but positive conclusion. At least not a negative one. I'm sure. Surely something positive is gonna happen out of this, and we're gonna conclude it on a nice note, and yeah, it's all gonna be happy. I don't know. I have no idea how this episode's gonna conclude. Zero clue. But I guess there's only one way to find out, isn't there? So I guess without further ado, if you wanna watch this uncut and unblurred, of course, on my Patreon down in the description, and let's go into Durarara Season 2 Ketsu Episode 12, or the final episode. Right into this. Those who meet must part. No, that's not true. Nope. I refuse to believe it. Nice! Flashbang! The gods! Good shit! Ra. Matsuya? Verona! Of course! Of course!
私は元から人殺しが好きな獣です。
Don't do it.
どこにでもいる人間さ。死そうじゃないか。何？指揮者。キラキラ全員再活気にしろ。はい、お母さん。
Salty, yep.
痛みとかないんだ。でも真っ暗だ。もしかしてずっとこのまま真っ暗なのかな。
No.
終わり返した。この町を去る前に私の体に関わるトラブルは排除しよう。もしかして僕はまだ生きてる。私の体がこの町を混乱させたことへせめてもの罪を犯した。セルティさん。ミカド、おい、なんとか言え。マサオミ、ミカド、よかった。
Oh, salty. Oh, it stops it at the surface, right? Oh. She is a Dullahan. Awake on the battlefield.
君は竜神でミカドだが、私の存在は君が死の先に希望を抱く理由にはなる。
True. She is a Grim Reaper.
私の体がこの町に存在した影響を強く受けたらしいな。だから離別の言葉を告げておくことにしよう。セルティさん、何を？竜神でか！マサオミ！そのわけ？なんでここに？見つけた。俺の愛しい人。バロだ。おお、気絶しているだけね。目が覚めたらすぐにはつい上がりでお出迎えよ。なんであんなまでを。ちらっと見ただけだが、お前を人殺しにはしたくなかったんじゃねえか。俺はまだまだ弱えな。すまねえ、バロナ。さて、しかしこれはどうなってやがんだ。セルティの仕業だよな。進路。私の体が原因の争いで人死にが出るのは忍びない。せめて犠牲者は減らしてから去るとしよう。セルティさんが原因なんて、これは全部僕のせいです。ならば聞くが少年、君が首なしライダーに出会わなかったとしたら、今ここで友人を撃つ現実を迎えていたか。私がこの町に存在したことで、矢切誠司は無意味な愛に振り回され、播磨美香は生まれながらの顔を捨てる結果となった。無意味な愛？何を言っているんだ。確実なのは、この町は私という存在のせいで。
It has a shop to it. That is true.
そんな、違います。救われた人だってたくさんいるんです。私だって。私はただのシステムだ。大いなる意志に従い、選ばれた者に死を告げる。その意味合いは君たち人間が知る必要はないし、知ったところで理解はできないだろう。私は故郷に帰り、役目に出る。私と深く関わり、運命を狂わせてしまった人間に離別の言葉を告げることで、この町での責務は終わる。私のことは忘れる。今日のセルティは嘘つきだね。
シンラ？
どうしたシューター、進め。いいから進めシューター。ここで立ち止まったら私が嘘をついた意味がないだろう。かな。人間、お前は誰だ。そうだね。どうしてここにいるんだ。
Shooter recognizing him.
あこっちが全てを忘れたふりをすれば、お前も諦めがつくと思ったのに。かな？なんだ？一体何を言っている？
He's trying to make it easy on everyone. No!
は疑っていない。それと同じくらいに信じてるんだよ。君の中にこの街の記憶が
No! Don't do this to me.
誰事だ。こうして君と話して確信に変わった。君はやっぱり優しいよ、セルティ。ちょっと優しすぎるんだけどね。やめろ！私はこの街にいてはいけない存在なんだ。だからせめてこの街のゴタゴタを全て終わらせてから消えようと思った。私の記憶が消えていると分かれば、みんな諦めるだろうと思ったのに、どうして一番忘れてほしいお前が台無しにするんだ。くだらん。そんなこと言わないで。こっちを向きなよ、セルティ。もういい、人間。貴様の妄想はたくさんだ。行け！行け！行くんだ、シューター！行け！
Oh, the desperation in the voice. Ah! Sashiro Miyuki.
そう不機嫌になるな、シューター。
No!
すべての記憶を取り戻したいわ。私が人間と一緒に生活すれば、ますます彼らに辛い思いをさせることになる。ああ、辛いよ。確かに辛いんだ、シューター。シンナには私のことを忘れてほしいの。私は忘れたくないんだ。何をしてるんだ、お前は。
Smart. Smart. Of course. Oh.
バカ！このバカ！お前は大バカのろくででした！言いたいよ、セルティ。
Of course. He overcame Saikai and was able to use her.
お前は死ぬんだぞ。
To
テラ
survive.
ハンとしての生き様と、君が選んだ未来を侮辱したんだ。命ぐらいかけなきゃ釣り合わ
So
ない
he severed the soul between the head and the body again, right?
本当にバカだ。
With Saika. Oh. Oh, come on. That was such an emotional scene, man. I fucking love Salty.
僕のことを悪人だって誰かにはっきりと止めてほしかったんだと思う。僕らはあまりにも変わってしまった。揃ったら話す約束でしたよね。3人が秘密。そうだね。何そんな約束してたの？おいおい、俺だけ仲間外れかよ。そうだな。誰から話そうか。やっぱりここは帝だろう。俺はアンリの秘密をあなたにとっておきたい。変わってしまったんだ。
Man. Bro, can you just like... No! No! It's over! No! Wait, hello! It's a post-credit scene! What do you mean? It should be all over!
祭りは終わった。そ
his beard go?
特殊な砂嵐の影響による自然現象と解説された。つうか、なんで俺は縛られてないのに、お前は縛られてんだ。さあね、まさかこんな風にあんたと決着になると。
You can't kill someone in the epilogue. What's up, Dougal?
昼が来る頃には影も去り始めた。抜かない方がいい。出血がひどくなる。キネさん、正直助かるかどうかは五分五分だな。死ぬ前に後ろのやつに礼ぐらい言っておけ。お前を運ぶの手伝ってくれたんでな。勘違いしないで。私はただあなたの末路を見てただけ。近くの救急病院に放り込んでやってもいいか。俺の声もある。まずはこの町の外へ、できるだけ遠くへ行ってくれないかな。死ぬとしても化け物に見取られるのはまんぴらだからね。例の首は無事に回収班が輸送中でございますです。このまま特殊な人材標本としてシカゴ本社に輸送するとの予定ですます。はい、わかった。だそうだがどうするね、ナミエ君。どうするも何も。我々ネブラとしては首に長く執着していた君の手腕が欲しいのだがね。何それ、勧誘でもしてるつもり？おやおや、ここまでストレートに話をしても勧誘だと確信が持てないとは。君はもしかして頭があんまり良くないのか？それぞれが
Oh! Oh! So weird.
一緒に行くのか？もちろん。聖司が行くならどこにだって行きますよ。けど、どうして首がシカゴに運ばれるって教えてくれたんだ？黙って一人で行った方が首を手に入れて破壊できるチャンスがあるんじゃ。それでも、聖司と一緒の方がいいですね。
That's so on
や
character.
っぱり俺はあの首を愛してる。恋人じゃなくても、ミカのことは家族みたいなものだと思ってる。
Ah! Rudy! Kujiragi?
あなた、クジラギさん。
Yeah, you're related.
宣言で申し訳ないのですが、私はあなたに嫉妬しています。だから私はあなたから奪うことにしました。殺人鬼ハリウッドとして罪を償う機会。これは私の罪であり、あなたへの罰です。どうしてあなたがそんなことを？自首しても無駄ですよ。私の手は警察内部にも報道機関にも深く食い込んでいますから。待ってください。あなたは一体。私はあなたに嫉妬と羨望を抱くただの悪人です。そういえば、いじりべるりちゃんのストーカーが逮捕されたんだって。
Is she a chunie?
あだましキスケってやろうな。なんでもトラックで跳ねようとしたのを通りすがりのファンがボコボコにして警察署の前に放り出したらしいっすよ。俺だったらそのまま引き潰してやるとこだがな。ったく、結局はいつも通りだな。帰国の詳細に関しては黙秘します。父と私の問題、余人には理解不能です。詳しくは聞かないが、お前は俺の後輩なんだからよ。何かあったらいつでも言いに来いよ。またこの町に来訪。
Oh, I fucking love the story of Verona developing feelings for Shizuo.
先輩と正面から語り合いたい。この満天下に生存していることの帰結を実感することが私の望みです。
Oh, these two.
ねえ、スージー。実際のところ、首の記憶は残ってるんじゃないのかい？はっきりと確定した状態で切ったんだ。
Oh.
どうだっ
ていいだろう、そんなこと。私はずっとお前と一緒だ。セルフィー！このバカ、調子に乗るな。こんな街中でお前。
見せつけてくれるじゃねえか、化け物。イチャついてんのか？
セルフィー、これどういう状況？
Run.
みんな死ぬなよ。え？
You can just cut away from the Mikado situation after this. Okay.
僕の話をしよう。
Oh, the parents are here. Finally! They finally decided to be in their son's life.
ダメよ。タカシだけは渡せないわ。
家か。お前、俺に支配されてたはずじゃん。
だって、タカシはそんな私を
I thought so. We saw this in the previous episode with Erika. Or was it 2 episodes ago?
あいつだよ。ミカルをどうこうするとか言ってた赤目たちのボス。
あれは、俺を跳ねた車にいたやつじゃねえか。
Yep.
お前ら、間違いねえ。ああ。おい、待て、徳さん。
Oh, he's dead. He's dead. Nice! Good shot! Oh, he's alive? Oh, yes! What's with the speedos? Take him. Yes! Oh. Oh. I'm happy. I'm so happy.
目を覚ましたら、そこには何が待っているんだろう。それは、ただの日常だろう。
Oh. Akabayashi. The goat.
あんたはワクス界の帝君のお見舞いかな。嫌味の一つでも言いに来たのかい。
何の用ですか？
いちゃんも年かな。若いやつに何か言わずにいられなくなるんだよ。特にあんたみたいな腹の黒い人にはね。
Conniving guys like you.
かなり目的を達成したんで、帝先輩をどうにかしようって気はもうないですよ。
いい心がけだ。ダラーズだかブルースクエアだか知らないが、あんまり置いたが過ぎると、でけえ口叩けなくなるぞ、ガキが。今日のところは帰ってくれるかな、黒沼君。
それとも、非日常だろうか。
そいつは残念だね。アンリちゃんを命がけで助けてくれたって子に、お礼ぐらいしたかったんだけどさ。
はい。まだ意識が戻らなくて。
ところで、竜ヶ峰君のこと、好きなのかい？
はい。自分でもよくわからないんですけど。
それは、アンリちゃんの意思なんだよね。
はい。私自身の気持ちです。そこは僕の戻るべき場所なのだろうか。なぜここへ来てしまったのか。来ようと思ったのか。僕がしてきたことは意味があったのか、なかったのか。一つだけ分かったことがある。龍ヶ峰君！そこにあるのは現実だということ。日常でも非日常でもない、手を伸ばせば触れられる揺るぎない現実。今僕はそこへ戻るんだ。おかえりなさい。
おかえり、帝。
すぐそこにある現実に。すっかり閑散としてしまったこの場所も、いつか再びいかがわしい人々であふれ返ることもありましょう。また会おうね。
That's it. That's it. Ah! Stop. Stop. Ooh. Oh. Oh man. I can't believe the way we finished it. I cannot believe that we're done with it. That's it. Whew. What an episode. What an episode. Definitely the best episode of the entire second season, all of the parts, for sure. But I'm gonna get into that in a minute. This was a fantastic episode and just a fantastic series all around. I wanted to go into, well, actually, since I'm already talking about this, let me say how, like, what I feel are the best parts of the show and stuff like that. Let me give my full thoughts on the show. So I think, still, all in all, like, if we put this season into 4 different seasons, right? Being season 1 being 3 different seasons and then season 1 being season 1. I think out of all of the 4 seasons, season 1 is still all in all my favorite. I do think that all of the reveals of season 1 hit way hard, like so hard, because obviously after those things get revealed, you can't really rely on the surprise factor anymore, because in future seasons you have to rely purely on the writing, which was great. But I think that surprise factor of season 1 reveals was so strong that I think season 1 just kind of like prevails. Also, I think the character writing and just the character drama of all of the friends in season 1 was absolutely peak. It was fantastic. And I do think that obviously the especially character of Mikado in like season 2, all of season 2, was incredibly well written, and some of the other characters as well. I do think that it was more focusing on the entire world and the overarching story more so than actually the character drama in like future seasons. So I do think that season 1, all in all, as a package, is definitely my favorite. But this one episode here at the end, this final episode, is one of my favorite episodes in all of Durarara, even including season 1. I think that's also fair to say. Now, there are a few things that I am still not quite sure about, and I'm sure they've probably been addressed, I just didn't catch them. One thing is, you know, back in season 1 during the Dollars meeting, Salty was able to shout out loud, right? She was able to speak out loud and people heard her. So I'm not sure how exactly that happened. Did I miss when they addressed that? Because I don't remember them addressing that ever. Like, why was she able to speak for that one moment and no other moments up until this point, right? Apart from when she had her head. When she had her head, obviously she was able to speak, but that was the only other moment when she didn't have her head, when she was able to speak. Also, I'm not fully sure what exactly her sight does. Like, they talked about it. I remember at one point they were also questioning it. I think it was either at the end of season 1 or maybe it was in the first part of season 2, when they were like, what exactly does your sight do, Salty? Because it doesn't kill people, so what exactly does it do? And we've seen people being slashed with their sight, being knocked out, and then at some point later we see them normally walking again and stuff. So it's not like they, I don't know, their soul gets slashed or something, because they are still alive. It just knocks them out for a bit. I don't know exactly what it does. So, and then I do think that there are a few of the plot points that I wish they elaborated a bit more on. Wait, let me get my notes. Like, I feel like, especially like, let's say, I think they could have done a lot more with Ruri, right, as a character, and Casca, right? Their characters, I feel like they could have done a bit more with. I'd also feel like, wait, is this, that is the wrong, those are the wrong notes. One sec. Yeah, also with, I feel like Akane. I feel like with Akane, they could have done a bit more with. And I feel like, yeah, there are just a few plot points that I feel like could have been explored a bit more. And on the other hand, I do feel like there were a few plot points that I feel like we didn't really need in this. I think the entire Heaven Slave situation, obviously it served a purpose in it, but I feel like it added, like, it opened up so many different plot points that I feel like were kind of like there just to fill in a space that could have done with like already pre-existing characters. And it kind of just introduced new characters that I feel like weren't necessarily fully needed for the story. Yeah, I feel like they could have done it without those characters. And I wouldn't say it was padding, I just think they could have done it in a more succinct way, you know? But even still, it wasn't like bad or anything like that. I feel like it was a fun story, especially seeing like the entire Isayash and Kanra, or was it Kanra? Was that his name? The other guy's name? Right? That story was fun and stuff like that. But I do think that they also could have done it a bit more concisely without that entire, without interjecting that entire story into it, right? But still, those are a few nitpicks that I would have with the story. Overall, it was a fantastic one. It was just a lot of fun. I will say that also in like season 3, because of, or sorry, season 2, because of how many moving pieces it had, there were definitely points where it got me quite confused. And luckily, because of all of the things that I said right now, because of how many stories felt like they weren't necessarily fully concluded, I don't think that missing some of the details really mattered at the end. I think seeing everything till the end right now, everything makes sense, even if you miss a few of the just a few of the pieces, which I definitely feel like I probably did. I would need to rewatch the series. This is definitely one of those series when you pick up the finer details as you rewatch it. But even still, I feel like it was really, really good though, right? It was really, really good. A lot of things happening at the same time. And the way that this ended felt fantastic. Everything kind of like came together. And I'm just happy that Takashi, it seems like he's going to be getting tortured for basically all of eternity, which I am so happy about. He deserves that. So that's going to be great. And yeah, let me go through all of the characters and kind of, or at least some of the major characters, and talk about how I feel about them and stuff like that. I feel like that could be fun. I'm not going to go through every single one of them. I'm going to leave Mikado until the end, probably. Yeah, Kida, the GOAT, he's great. I love him. He made many mistakes, and obviously some people might really condemn him for those mistakes, and obviously there is some merit to that. You can definitely be like, he should definitely take responsibility for those mistakes, and he definitely fucked up a lot. And yes, I agree with that, he did. But on the other hand, I do think that he did take responsibility for those mistakes. He needed some time. He needed time to actually think about what to do, and he needed time to gather the courage to take responsibility, because it's not easy to take responsibility for something as big of a fuck up as he did, right? And I respect the fuck out of him actually taking responsibility and trying to make it up to the people that he felt like he affected negatively by his decisions. So overall, fantastic character. Love Kida. Love Kida. He wasn't perfect in any way, shape, or form, but he tried his best. And I respect that. He made an effort to change for the better. And that's something that I can always respect in a character, right? Karisawa Erika, one of my favorite characters. I love Karisawa Erika. She's not like the deepest character or anything like that, but goddamn, I love her. She was just always so much fun, and I'm gonna expand this to the entirety of Van Gang. As a gang, as a group of people, the most fun group of people in the show. Love them. Kadota, one of my favorite characters, just an absolute chad. One of my favorite characters is him. Yumasaki was also great. So all of them, and Togusa as well, all of them were really, really, really fun. I love them. So the Van Gang, fantastic. No comment about them. They were just great. Like, just one of the pieces of this show that almost always just made me feel good. So I love them. Simon and all of Russia Sushi, also really fun. I don't think there was too much to say about that. They were just always really fun. I always love seeing Simon on screen. Shizuo, one of my favorite characters as well, definitely up there. And I absolutely love that guy. He's a lot of fun. And I love his relationship with first Salty. And also, I love his relationship with Verona. Or more so, I don't know how one-sided that relationship is. We only saw Verona kind of speak about Shizuo, and not the other way around. And I love Verona's arc. I guess this is kind of transitioning into Verona as a character. I love Verona's arc of being this kind of cold-blooded killer who doesn't really understand emotions, and kind of explaining her own crush on Shizuo as a feeling of, oh, I must feel this way because I want to beat him, not realizing that it's actually her having a crush on him, which I feel like is just such a cute way to explain it, and such a nice arc that she had. So Verona was great. Iza, I'm gonna leave for the end with Mikado. Then we have Anri. I love I mean, obviously Anri, fantastic. One of the most inoffensively just really, really, really good characters that I just really wish nothing but the best for, nothing but the world for. She's just such a kind soul. There's nothing that I could hold against her, right? Absolutely nothing. Like, she started off as this kind of like absolutely emotionless machine that didn't have emotions, but was repressing all of her emotions because of the childhood trauma that she endured. And over time, Saika was kind of like the catalyst, or not even just Saika. Yeah, I guess creating offsprings as Saika was kind of like a catalyst for her change, because she started feeling responsible for the people under her. And ever since she was starting that change, and ever since she was interacting with more people, she ended up becoming more and more emotional, and you love to see it. Just a fantastic character. Who else do we have there? Mika, I don't think there's much to say there. Seiji, I don't think there's too much to say there. He was fun. Shinra, one of the characters that grew on me a lot, together with, especially their relationship with Salty, was something that I wasn't really a fan of at the beginning. Especially, I didn't like how pervy Shinra was towards Salty, especially considering the fact that they weren't like in any kind of relationship at that point, and he was just always like not even just making jokes and anything. He was actually being really weird of like peeping on her in the shower and stuff. And I was like, this guy sucks. But as time went on, it felt like he became, honestly, he really became more respectable as time went on. He became less and less pervy in that sense of the word, even though they started dating. And even when they were dating and stuff like that, he just became a sweetheart. He just became great. And he just became really dedicated to making sure that Salty is happy, that Salty is like, that she's living her best life together with him, right? And I love him. He's great. I guess I can talk about Shingen once since we're here. I still am not fully bought on like the Shingen stuff side of things. I think he is a fun character. Every single time that he's on screen was really, really fun. But I do think that he is extremely weird. And also, I just can't forgive the entire Salty scene, right? You know, from 20 years ago when he was just opening Salty up and stuff like that. That was just so disgusting. So he's just a weirdo. He makes me feel uncomfortable still, but he is a fun character. So I'm not gonna take that away. Well, Salty, I guess. Let's touch upon Salty. Lover. I don't think there's anything to say. Anything negative to say about Salty. I love her relationship with Shizuo. I love her relationship basically with everyone. She just felt like she was there for everyone to give advice. Like Mikado spoke to her a few times. Anri confided with her quite a few times. I absolutely love how she was there to give Anri advice, or at least to listen to Anri, right? She was great. She's a great listener. And yeah, as I said, with Shizuo, her entire relationship was also really fun. She was just great. A great character. Nothing too much more to say about that. That's Shingen. Ruri. I talked about Ruri. I wish they, and Yuke as well, or Casca, I wish they gave a bit more of an arc to them, but still, that's fine. Aoba. Then we have Aoba. I mean, I don't have too much to say with Aoba. He always was extremely suspicious, and even still till the very end, he remained quite suspicious. I'm not sure how, I don't really like him that much. I liked him for like when he was first introduced alongside Mairo and Kururi, but I think Mairo and Kururi could have been utilized a bit more once again in the actual story, but they were fun additions in the chat room, right? I feel like that was their main role, was in the chat room, and they were fun. Aoba was also cool at the beginning. I started to like him less and less as time went on, and till the very end he was just kind of like a sussy character that I wasn't too big on. Rochi grew on me a lot. Just, he still is quite weird. I don't know how old he's supposed to be. That was my main gripe, especially at the beginning, was how he seems to be quite an older guy, just having a bunch of high school girls around, and I was like, that's really weird. But I think he is supposed to be kind of like a teenager himself, so I don't think it's supposed to be that weird. So when you look at it from that way, he's kind of like just a bit of a playboy, you know, and that's fine. He became kind of like a bro to Kida, right? He gave some great advice, and he became kind of a Chad, honestly, towards the end. So I kind of like him. Akane I already talked about. Verona I talked about. Kujiragi. I guess I can talk about a bit about Kujiragi before I go back to the big two, right? So Kujiragi was really fun. She was a really weird character, right? But I like her. She is interesting because she has so many sides to her, right? Because she is, at the end of the day, she is very, like, you can tell why she is so distant from everyone and why she's so closed off is because of her entire childhood and the way that she grew up in this, like, in the entertainment industry, and she was basically groomed from when she was little. But you can see some of the humanity slip through the cracks of like her liking cosplaying and stuff like that, and liking cats and cat cafes and things. So she was an interesting character, right? I actually like her character. But let's go. That's about it. That's about all I have to say about Kujiragi. Let's go back to the big two now. Mikado, and of course we have Izaya. Mikado. Now, Mikado, I think, is a fantastically written character. I think he is extremely well written. All in all, just seeing this guy spiraling down into loneliness and trying to substitute that loneliness with power was a really fascinating watch, really tough watch as well for him, especially because you like the guy at the beginning a lot, and as time goes on, you just see him making all the wrong decisions, and you're like, no, don't do this, no, Mikado, not you, don't go down this path, and he goes just down this really destructive path, and it's such a shame to see, and it just sucks, right? Seeing him go down that path, and it's so good to see that he had friends who are willing, especially Kida, who is extremely proactive here, who are willing to risk everything to make sure that he gets out of that destructive mindset, right? It's just so good to see. I kind of already mentioned this before, but he does kind of remind me of Shinji. I'm not gonna elaborate too much on that, and Evangelion is my favorite anime of all time, so it's not a bad thing at all. He reminds me, especially the end of Evangelion, Inji, it kind of reminds me of that. Anyways, he is fantastic, like a really good character. I really like the way that his character was written, even though obviously I don't think he was supposed to be, like, I don't think you're supposed to agree with the things that he did, but I do think that all of the things that he did are very much, you can see where he's coming from. They make sense for his character, and I think that's what's important, right? Even if obviously I don't agree with them. So yeah, he was a fantastic character. And then Izaya, on the other hand, is, once again, I do think, okay, as much as I've been shit-talking Izaya in a lot of my talks, I do think that he's extremely well written, and I think he's like by far the most popular character of the series. And I can see why. I can definitely see why. He's very well written. I will say, I do not like Izaya. I do not like Izaya. To me, Izaya is... To me, if you... he is an instigator to the max. He is an instigator, and to me, someone who watches a kid, like who is trying to egg on a kid to do stupid decisions to see where they go, and then who watches that kid basically try to take their own life because of those decisions that he egged them on, to me, that is an irredeemable POS, right? But he is a well-written character, and once again, it makes sense why he's doing those things, right? Why he's so fascinated with humans and stuff. But at the end of the day, to me, I really don't like him. But yeah, as I said, he's a cool character, and he's got swag, you know. He's got swag, he's got style, he's cool. Especially, I like his dynamic, and obviously without him, this story would be boring, right? He adds so much to the story, right? I think he's the most pivotal character to the story, and he adds so much to it. And yeah, we needed him, but yeah, just because of that, or even though all of those things are true, I can't bring myself to really necessarily like him. But yeah, that's about it. That's my entire breakdown of the characters and stuff like that. So all in all, the series, fantastic, absolute fucking cinema. Thank you guys for recommending this one, and thank you guys for watching it with me. You guys were great. Like, I feel like the comments on this have been all really, really positive, really, really nice. So thank you guys for watching it with me. It was a blast. Even if I did get lost at, like, I would say at some point, especially in the latest seasons, you guys were patient with me. So thank you guys for that. And thank you for watching. So that's about it. So thank you guys for watching this series with me, and I'll see you in whatever I do next. Peace.